honestly, take a break at any time that you need it. And don't take it with any guilt. Taking breaks is very, very good in Animation Mentor. You want that time to analyze your work, to understand what you did wrong, what you did right, how can you keep improving, what you need to keep focusing on. And just let everything that, like, Animation Mentor is throwing a lot of stuff at you all at once and you're learning a ton of stuff. If you need that time to just decompress and like let it sink in, that is good. So some people like to take a break between ANO3 and ANO4 because it lets them kind of take more time to focus on their body mechanics and then prepare for lip sync. Other people prefer to take the break between ANO4 and ANO5 so that you learn some of the lip sync stuff and then you have some time to practice on your own before going into a 2-character shot. Some people like to take a break between ANO2 and ANO3 so that they can work on their core body mechanics skills before jumping into advanced body mechanics. So essentially, it's if you feel that you're not quite prepared for the next class, or you want to keep improving some of the stuff that you learned, take a break. Take that time to just keep practicing. Do small assignments. It's not a bad thing. Taking a break is healthy. It's good for you. So, yeah. The other time that is good to take a break is between the winter spring terms. There's no break week. You get 2 days and then the next term starts. A lot of people just tend to take their breaks at that point. So it's essentially gives you a break between terms, a longer break between terms. So yeah, it's up to you. When I was in school, I didn't take any breaks. I went from the Maya workshop to the main class, which was 6 classes, and then I took I helped test a creature workshop. And then I took the 2 creature workshops. Then I took 2 VFX classes. Then I took I helped test out a couple of other classes, which were collaborative classes. So that was 2. And then I took, what else? So it was, yeah, it's essentially on top of the 18 months, Cameron and I did another like 18 or 24 months on top of that straight with Animation Mentor. We were just testing curriculums for the school, which was really cool. We got to test all these workshops for them, and we had to write reports and stuff on how it could be improved, what could make it better. But yeah, it was long and we burnt out hard, very hard. I do not recommend that. Take a break. Do not go 18 months without a break if you can, and definitely do not go, what was it, like 36 months without a break. That was not good. So yeah, hope that answers the question there. During the interview, they said, "Can I give you some advice? Make friends with everyone. I don't think you have a problem because you already seem like you've been my coworker for years." I was like, "I'm confused because you're giving me advice, but you think I'm already following it." That is kind of a little confusing, but it is good advice. It's, if you're doing it already, like, just keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. Make friends with everyone, because that compliment right there, that's one of the biggest compliments you can get when you're working anywhere. If someone can, like, they've just met you, they've talked to you for a little bit, and it's like, yeah, I could see myself working for you or with you for years. And it just feels like, yeah, we've got that camaraderie, that connection. That's huge. That's what studios are looking for. When one of the big things that they look for when they're hiring people is not so much, are your skills perfect? Because that's a big one. But the other thing is, are you going to work well on this team? Are you going to help everyone like feel better about coming into work? Are you going to make everyone else's work rise up because they're just happier to work with you? Or are you going to bring everyone down and make everyone's life miserable and they don't want to have to come into work and have to deal with this jerk and like bring morale down? That brings production to a halt. It's horrible. So studios are looking for someone who is friendly and can work on a team. And it doesn't mean you have to be like super outgoing and like the party person and the one that's just like making friends everywhere. Just don't be like the jerk. That's the big thing. Try to make friends, try to be nice, try to be polite. That's a huge compliment. So just keep doing it. And this goes for everyone. Be the person you would want to work with and want to have on your team. Pro, thanks for the reminder here. Let's see. You had no experience when you joined? No, zero experience. When I joined Animation Mentor, I had never done any animation at all. Not even like a flip book. When I was young, I don't think I ever really did a flip book. Maybe like 1 or 2 pages, but yeah, zero experience. I didn't know how to draw. The only experience I had was that I used to do sculpting or more box modeling in Maya, as well as texturing, rendering, that kind of stuff as a hobby. Nothing serious, just kind of learning Maya on my own. So I knew the program, but I had never touched any of the animation tools in Maya. So the only, like, the big experience that I had before Animation Mentor was that I was a baker. Cameron and I were both bakers before, for like 4 years, which most of that was saving up money for Animation Mentor. So yeah, it was a very big tone shift. Definitely an odd career change. Let's see. Catching up here. I want to make sure I have the time available if I ever do class 5, 6. Right now, it's not the case. Yeah, you definitely want to have that time. If you're working a job that doesn't allow you to really dedicate it, there's other ways of practicing and keeping it to improve your skills without taking a school program that's going to just suck out all of your free time and your health. It's very important to keep your health in mind. Yeah, that was a intense straight through for 36 months. Yeah, it was tough. I do not recommend that to anyone. Take breaks. Cameron and I were so burned out by the end of that. It was horrible. And for most of that, so we had the 36 months there, and aside from the Maya workshop and classes 1, 2, and 3, I think it was, we were working full time along with that. So that was hard. No breaks needed. No, you take breaks. You need breaks. Breaks help. I took one between 05 and 06. Yes. Yeah, like, breaks are not bad. A lot of people tend to look at breaks and see it as this, like, oh, it means I haven't succeeded. I see everyone else is going through without a break. If I have to take a break, it means that I'm not good enough, that I'm struggling, that I'm not able to push as far as they are. No, not at all. You don't know what their lives are like. Maybe that person isn't working a full-time job. Maybe they're not taking care of family. Maybe they've just got a really high energy. Maybe they're not tired. You don't know what people's lives are like. So someone who's taking the course full without breaks, that's fine. But if you're working a full-time job, if you are tired from a previous job, if you are like, there's so many life factors. There's so many mental health factors. There's so many health factors, just body health. There's so many elements to taking a program like this. It's not fair to compare yourself to someone else because you do not know the specifics, and more than likely, none of the specifics will line up. So if you need to take a break, if it's the best thing for you, you do it. The whole point of Animation Mentor, the whole point of any of these schools, ideally, is that it is a program that is built for you and that will give you the best experience that you want and that you need. So you want to make choices that will be best for you. You're paying the money. You're paying this thing. If you need a break so that you can get the most out of the next term, do it. With no guilt, no feeling bad about it. And like for me as a teacher, I would much rather have a student take a break and then come at my class just ready to go and ready to learn everything than jumping in and they're tired and they're struggling and I can't give as much to them if that's the case. I want to give them the best experience possible to that student. So it helps me. It also helps you. So yeah, take breaks. Is it weird that I can see you as a baker? I take that as a compliment. I loved baking. I really did. I actually wish I could have more time to bake. Although I will be getting a chance to make crepes soon again. You'd think making crepes, it's so simple, but even that I just don't have the time for. But I'll be making them pretty soon and I'm so excited. It's just crepes, but yay! I get to make something. I love baking. See, burnout lasts a long time and often is different than what people imagine burnout to be. Very true. I've had a lot of talks on burnout on this channel. I'm not going to go super in depth here, but for anyone who doesn't know what burnout is essentially you have worked so hard, you have pushed your body so hard that it just gives up. It just stops. You cannot work anymore. It is physically painful to work. I've had burnout 3, maybe 4 times. Big burnouts. I've had small burnouts, but 3 or 4 big burnouts. And when you get that, it's not just a physical thing. Burnout is not just, oh, I'm tired all the time. Oh, I don't feel like working. No. Burnout is the start of a lot of problems. Physical problems, mental problems. It leads to depression. It leads to just so many bad things. Burnout is not just a little, oh yeah, it's artistic burnout. Oh, you see this a lot with like certain like big studios where it's just like, oh, we worked our animators into crunch and there was a little bit of burnout, but it was fine. Look at our final product. Come buy it. And it's like, no, if there's burnout, that means you basically abused your employees. No, burnout is bad, 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 bad. Do not burn yourself out. When I got the worst burnout I had, took me a full year to recover from. That year, I forget which year it was. Basically, I spent an entire year waking up, doing my work, and then going back to bed. And that's it. I was so... I guess maybe it was like depressed. But like it's not that depression where, like, again, that stereotypical depression that people think of, oh, I'm sad, oh, I'm like depressed. That's not depression. That's sadness. That's a whole other thing. Depression is like clinical depression. A big part of that is just apathy. I don't care anymore. I really like it. That's the whole year was just, I don't care. What's the point? Like, I'll do my work and I'll just go and lie down. What else am I gonna do? A full year of that. The thing that got me out of that was, and hey, Bendo, thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. As we're talking about this deep, sad, depressing topic, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. The thing that got me out of that whole slump was the Discworld series from Terry Pratchett. I had started reading it kind of close to the start of my burnout there. And within that year, I think there were like 50 something books in the series, along with extra little books here and there. I read them all within a year. So my year was basically spent working, going to bed, reading a book, going back to bed, getting up, and working again. And for anyone who remembers from like early on the stream, I used to have a couch back there. That was my life. I would sit here, work, sleep on the couch, get up, go to work, go back, grab the book, read, go back to work for a full year. That's burnout. That is the result of that. I lost a year of my life because I worked so hard to the point that my body just shut down. And that's one of the burnouts I've had. Burnout is serious. Burnout is not something that we want to play around with. It's like, it's not a badge of honor. Like getting to say, oh, I got burnout. Yay, see how hard I worked? That's what a lot of like marketing campaigns try to push, is like, no, you worked hard. See, they went through crunch. Look how dedicated they are. They burnt out. Whoa, wow. You should buy this product because look how hard they worked. It is not a badge of honor. That is something you want to avoid. If you can say, I've worked my entire animation career and I never got burnout, that is the badge of honor. That is like the success story, standing ovation, like, wow, you did it. That's the dream. That's what we all want. Aim for that. If you need a break, take it. If you need to slow down on something, take it. When you work at a studio, you're going to have less options to be able to take those breaks. So when you're going through school, take it while you can. The last thing you want is to burn yourself out in school, and then when you go into the industry, you're not mentally and physically prepared because you're burnt out. That's not good. So yeah, I could go on a whole, like, we could spend the rest of this stream here just talking about burnout and all of that, but the big thing here is avoid it. Take care of yourselves. It is not something to be proud of. Being burnt out is a waste of your life. It really is. And it is hard to get through. It is so hard. It's not just, oh, I'll take a vacation, I'll be good. No, a vacation's not going to help. It takes time. Your brain has to heal from it. And it usually never gets like back fully, at least not for a long, long time. So here's the thing. I guess it's hard to even recognize when you have burnout. It is, because it's slow. It doesn't just happen overnight. You're just going to get more and more tired. Getting to work is going to be harder and harder. You're going to feel like you want to do less. Another side effect of burnout is you start to become a little bit more antagonistic or snappy. Like things will start to irk you more, or like make you angrier faster. For many of you who know me, I'm not a person that gets angry very quickly. Like if Maya crashes, it's just like, oh well. It takes a lot to even make me kind of slightly peeved. When I had that burnout, for the most part, it was like that. But there were certain things where it would just like, I would just snap. Not in a horrible way, but just in the way of like, I give up. I'm done. I'm just going back to bed. Like things that shouldn't bother me. For example, there was one time I remember where it was the TV wasn't working. It's a quick fix. I had a media center thing and the connection broke and I had to fix the network, which is not a big thing, but it's kind of frustrating. And I just fixed it the day before and it kept like breaking for the last few weeks. And something that should have been like, okay, go fix it, done. Easy, no problem. It broke and it was just like, yeah, I'm done. That's it. No more. I'm going to bed. Leave me alone. And that doesn't happen to me. That is like that's not me. But that's what burnout does. It shortens your fuse. Everything gets harder. Something that should be a simple fix suddenly seems like the end of the world. A simple mistake that you do on your shot it creates like how all of us have that, oh, I made a mistake. Am I really an animator? Should I do this? Those negative thoughts, they get magnified so much. Those little thoughts become really bad thoughts when you start making mistakes and you have burnout. It is not good. So if you're starting to experience that fatigue, that tiredness, I would recommend looking up burnout for everyone here. Look up burnout. Look up the symptoms of it. If you're starting to feel like, okay, maybe I'm starting to burn out, do some things to fix that now. Don't wait. Even if it's just making sure you have a little bit of extra time during the day just to relax. Something like that. It's very, very, very important. Your careers are reliant on your health. If you don't have good health, if you're not taking care of your arms and you start getting carpal tunnel, if you start like slouching too much and you hurt your back, you're not going to be able to animate. If you don't take care of your mental health and that strain on that mental health, you're not going to be able to animate. You need to take care of that. That's part of the job, is taking care of yourself. As weird as it seems, it's if you want to be a really good animator for like the foreseeable future, and that's like your goal, this dream, take care of yourself. Let's see. My biggest way to fight burnout is that I go work out. I force myself to just stop and work out because it really clears my head. Yeah, I do the same thing. I try to work out pretty much every day, aside from like one break day if I can, because it gives me something to do that I can just like, I am not at my computer. I'm moving around. This is my time. For me, I see working out as kind of like Zen meditation time. This is for me. I'm just doing it just because I like it, and it gets me away doing something. I used to do baking for that as well, but baking takes more prep time and having to go get recipes and ingredients and stuff. So unfortunately, it's a little harder to do. But do something for yourself. Read a book, watch movies, go outside, go to a park, have a garden, something that allows you to get away from the stress. And then don't be afraid to take breaks. Take that time for yourself. The real legends sleep and take care of themselves. Exactly. Like Glenn Keane and all of these animators who have been working for like 50, 60 years. The way they're doing it for 50, 60 years is that they took care of themselves. If they didn't take care of themselves, they would have had to retire at 40 because their bodies would just give up. So take care of yourself.